ngaro na la wato kuma ta baki asira linga da fo ko nyi founding kila
hey elafta maborol la bank kalpo efa igiso eseo na yuna jang ibadin kiyato kati yuna wallet ibe falindiro ke kan sandiri nyat
ni la yuna wallet o si muna fanno tulo yabo mano kandrin ni fenja ma jama isi sanno la yuna wallet o kono yalla kamo soto ila wallet o kono
alkana la konda no tay ka yuna wallet anatan tolle mukan na balwo fanondi abe sono yaren ko bulu podo ne la mobile scan yo science ise ma boro ke wato men diate
ko be sandro ke fangole ba ko ba ke kan dimbalem isi ñu lonko e sandro se yona enterprise wato wati ani la yona wole tola e be lan kam soto kay la wole to kon
alina na tafun nanyi yuna dimbayal tan kasandiro ke yuna biti foto alina kata nyin ko kentat na sura fon lolu si sandiro kije se ma boro fanan keje
moro jundi ana nyum ko di mabal ni kadeda
Hello and welcome to another edition of our show. Badingol ngal bismillah na show tong kaminke aramisa. First, we want to apologize for coming in late. Sisa kunonkole yake ngame atebe domorola so wala tina later. But of course, komale afonya mindronko B, we are going to be hosting Honorable Alhagie Darboe of Brikama North UDP, and of course Honorable Abdoulie Ceesay of All Yundum. And Mar Nyang was supposed to be here, but ngate postponed for next week. We will have members of the civil society, and of course we will be talking about the Constitution. Last week we had some members of the civil society here. This week we want to also look at the parliamentarians. They are going to make that decision that we look forward to. They made it in 2020 draft. They are going to make that decision again. To do that, first, let me welcome my guest. Honorable Abdoulie, welcome. Why are you late, though? Late.
Thank you so much, Fatou. The more we control, we do the water. But how can the program we start late? Of course, until late. I have a reason.
Yeah.
So now that was also very important.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. So between Bajan, the come here for Yamadro. Program we pour Gamino the money more than the Bantala.
Yeah.
Kela we Kachadro, Paul Bundino. Now that I will approve even Nafara than the road of Malangia.
Honorable, maybe similar program.
Okay, Barakabaki. Kerr Fatou kamolo kunyato kumandi jang nga kacha ke kula me yalon ko asi banko sura kontanta bake inya wato men dinna ka bunyato kumandi jang kontanta bake.
First, Honorable, let's see Kabria mo ko draft constitution. President Cabrana tanung Parliament to State of the Nation address. I follow koni alason tanyinang bita referendum olare. Justice Ministry fananga jenyi watu kono ya fonum before ko in fact sambiba gazetin kela. 2 weeks ago nga information ositoko ye draft gazette le. First Kabria mo ko ministry ya foko they have gazetted a new draft constitution. Mune kitela no first reaction oti.
Being president of the National Assembly, Namira ala kuma follow about draft constitution akira National Assembly.
Yeah.
Kafoko December ningala kitita referendum o nyimbe kala in fact at that time ma expect ko atebela fan draft constitution nyanta gazette la so that by maybe if possible no fanten no nara 3 months on sita do September session anyanta lelale was niba target ka ko December there should be referendum or that mean September session nemo anyanta lela so that referendum si December in target no
to come to ko feel the
referendum
what can all December
because 3 months la gazetting obe expire what that be around November or something like that so that mean that session nemo that's the fourth ordinary session nemo na be la si leno wala then that mean okola le referendum sina keno
So but Kabria Moikoya Gazette, what was your first reaction? Because
I've been more reaction to all of follow more left at draft constitution reintroduce so more welcoming move to more be welcome ka fogo draft constitution binala no welcome para bina nyaadile wala falan nata ke consente remol nata start ka foko ka content yin kaje den wonata ke consent mba expect ka nyamen na wala mo di 2020 draft constitution wala be reintroduce la minister kay akonyal ko asina nole amam falen asna nole falen do ye keje bari mbe men yilla ka wala mo akana falen be wala yilla ka sakora falen do me yalon ko a fumata bak mo yilla wala feren
alme yilla on
hani
honorable draft constitution alla government me and so many other people ngato le blame ko na 2020 draft me yalon ko CRC consultation ke atole afai atole vote out Gambian la wishes alia throw out saying ngaje ko alla government de draft ni alia tali alia amend alia na tinang first munera reactionity did you know that ko the draft was amended before aita bijanin to ngakalam
first of all, I have to clarify something. Nico Gamino wishes no fai. Until Franco Gamino left them in the mole.
And CRC, they consult with Gambians.
That's what I'm saying.
And the Gamino wishes like a book.
That's what I'm saying. Okay, that's a process. Kabilo approve in parliament or reject. It's a process in parliament. Minority knows that very well. Process that lead to prior reject. That is a topic for another day. Probably.
But it's well for the debate. What in a draft?
But not feel like even though Mojama left a prior tambi, still have
issues
amount of people
that mean phenomenal. Obviously.
Process the make it far further was state. But that's not a problem because any bill in parliament as a reject as a pastor.
But would you take the blame that you guys were the one who rejected it?
That was no blame.
I'm just saying, I'm blaming you. Yeah, responsibility that go. If I give the responsibility go atole in a draft or throw out, will you be able to say yes? Obviously, we did.
For the right course, because I think we have taken the responsibility. I think it's in the right course. So we take responsibility for rejecting the draft on the right course.
Great. We agree on that. Let's go ahead.
So with the current draft, of course, President announced like a draft coming minority. Everybody was anticipating for that draft in parliament so that parliament can look over it. Now the approval or whatever is going to happen, I put to the next level. We all anticipate. Come on, draft whether the 2020 draft will come. But certainly, we know very well, even before President's announcement, there were a little bit of consultation, even for us as NAMs. Don't engage the consultation with certain people from outside, even someone, like even Chambers was here, I think I remember very well. We had a discussion on the draft, and there were things for agree, those things. Even Good Luck Jonathan, I remember at Paradise Suites Hotel, we look at some provisions to at least agree on certain things as NAMs at that time. So another consultation level for political party leaders and in Dolu mawol mabe understand to fono la do ngalon ko minister of nyam ko yol kale in some for to la level to la part I think we have done that and we believe le ko ning ayata comme ko man agree on anything me alon ko in the 2020 draft anyanta bolaje pour agreement na say way na nanje I think that should have been the case. But Minister Yafo in his press conference call, they have gone beyond. Probably they have inserted certain changes in the it emanated from consultation with other people. So
after the consultation at the National Assembly levels, the minister said there were consultations, and I saw something that they wrote today. I will come to that later. And UDP has also said there was no consultation because he told me for Allah asks Honorable Ateminamira. But Allah consultation at NAM's level, the things that you guys discussed, did you see everything in this new draft? I'll agree to me. Contentious issues on Minkataje. Ya Jeloko, Ali Alfonso Jeloko, Aluminum back and forth, they were all addressed in this new draft.
Yes, so full because the last consultation we had was at the conference center. You know, your project level.
Yeah.
And until personally, many agreement were put in red. Yeah, highlight red. Agreement you will find highlight in another color. I remember.
Yeah.
So one of the things was, in fact, even the issue of recall and all that, the percentages, many all be discussed at our level because they were looking at these things, Kajube, even for the National Assembly, Kajube, holistically, like a member of parliament, la election, final parliament, a sitting member, la recall, Kajube.
Yeah.
There were a lot of things in Yalanko, Molye put to jail. So Molbe Jubile, we agree on terms as members at the time. Even for the retroactive clause, I remember very well, but people agreed, as a levelment, I think we need to move.
Yeah.
So we agree to jail. So I feel two-term limit in this new draft. So I think for me, I agree to change. Of course, change it, and still it will come back to Parliament for us to look at it.
To look at it.
At that level, then we still have the powers to either
amend
or do whatever.
Exactly. Yeah. Honorable, Minister ko consultation oketala. Atola molko. I remember hosting your party leader here. Actually, a day before this was gazetted, we had an interview, and I brought it up because obviously, following ko iba gazette la anunga nyin kankai ko. Koibe draft in cassette very soon. Ako ning hani koma abotaje, hani doto na abotaje. You guys are not going to vote for it. But the minister said yesterday at the press conference, and also at coffee time, there was a series of consultation with party leaders and all stakeholders, civil society. I can say that Doko, civil society. I spoke to Gambia participants and others. They said they were not consulted, they were not involved. But the minister said you guys were consulted. What do you say to that?
Janimina actual to consultation for la. Na mira constitution ninga ataram benga sura to our heart. Na to nyanta kele nyenete constitution nyenga soto. To nya biringa falindro nyenke. Falindro la ku kungo wala mo ka constitution kuto kadi bankola wamu kumma ya bata bata na falendo nyen konole mbele lafta wala ni ala ya ke 2020 constitution a rejecta amira min nyanta kala kaje ko min keta woto kana ke o nyanta kala nyamenna nyanda obulala osim falelu noma mabeta Ibn Chambers la meeting, the last meeting with political parties.
Okay.
Hello meeting olu. Amanche ko kanyina foko na agrita nyina. Komin memu sunu danin kumaya konsu sunu anyanta murlanan. Kachaka ke wolte. Molu kela kuma kanwolu fo. Molu kela mirol fo. Mo biga kuma je member fula ko malafi konsu sunu yana. Orna sulo aina nake klinte aina mulla kuma kan kagelo commune sol le kake
okay
bra manje ko ka foko agri la nyum pointo lella diamo ko no ngameran teleketa almost diam labonti lati ko ibun kembaye e kamen be foko diptole constitution jimbay diptol man constitution jimbay de constitution mo banko la document lati bari political instrument lama because aka political interest la soto
yes
annu wakabo political party lu aka bo wallal bulu
hade
dibitol be wallal kono woro kuma kan dibitol ya fo waranto lod la dibitol yake ila political party la lod la ni la kuma kan lamu walti ngani konsuno baytal janna fural dibitol bur
yeah
kabrata executive yela lod la fole yela content bal ya fole
yeah
padi dol fon yela mirol fole woro pati yela position ta janna abina dibitol yo kuma kan yo lalu fo ani nata bara wolela woto même manke janni ngi konsuno bina wala mo ni draft konsuno ngi dedata drafting banda ma fo drafting fale but political party nyanta engagement kilal over the draft kaje ko be consensus bill ngola nyar especially on contentious issues nyola ani kala 100% fen ko nyide but si compromise no on issues yo mirol ta yadira ko to nganyinel agree on these consensus issues nyola ni wo dir fodal dibte ila dibtol ba ila dibtol ba lor la nyinata
yeah
but draft nata danta cabinet in non political party sol injek dambali kacha bela lor lalta min keda oketa ko nin almal lafi wo sifa ke kotenke min manche wala nyanda wala mu political party sol ye engagement ke over the draft yo position o nyinta ko lafta nyinni la ni yewol attack to the document don diptol ni na te bo language bo le speak la bal kana murundi nande nim political draft ni kana murundi nim party sol man posonota po ketale wala ketal last meeting tv e bun kemba
okay
andum biro meeting nyum banta ka foko slang ye party ye nyine agree yewo safele at the end of that last meeting ministers are bondi
minister kai no so from all the meetings
nka wala last meeting men for
ha
ni ngata wo keta party ye nyine agree because wolum party man fe agree mo do fonga ya fo meeting la fa party do fonga fo meeting la fa nga special committee nyum tombong wole constitution ni yeta first consultation ke a constitution de la cour mo ko hani mbeni men kanka consensus issue jibe now agree wel to ngambe amendment men propose ngol e propose nga draft ni ngar enrich wala rather than ka fo ko mbita fresh mbe committee dole de dala wita do ko nyin kumas odo ninata futa wo nyama mota fala ko patil agreement le ta fen ko nyin to consultation menti bring draft nyin a rejecta 2020
ha
ibun chambers nyol na de ka intervene
ha
ka dialogue ke
ha
mediation pour mbe compromise la nyamenna and wo process le na rawol continue da Gambia bor ka fa ko drafting consultation keta woldo hani o manke mina munna miro to nyun kol doldo wallel fura ite ela miro fo abla ela miro ndo al miro wala ka meeting dulalt but finally ngamune draft no wol manke but again fanang mafo ko political party lebe safaro nyinkela han natra amendment kere for example aketa da nyamen ning aketa it should go back to them ya jibe mune keta je foy to law miro ban comme men ka kacha fo wolle moto ban fo wolte wotti o manke what only ba fala ko they were part of the drafting consultation but that was not the case and I'm afraid to be very honest ndenga jibele adino ma complete bar nga jibele kenyi so men keta comme nga fa na introduction da fuma batale
fuma ta
and wato bon dantan nelu mu wolle mu men problem yolti ni nga won nyori nyokanno compromise be kelal bayitare falin dossier andi foka e quand même for long from fine pan to fire amana jode alhamdulillah foni ala ma koy de
foni ala ma koy
wallahi
ima sila jar
hani comme ngob jin bunda signal min potenti
ha
walla tabaliaje akal nyomo le kolyandi to very frank ni atran telemun attorney general Political instrument like constitution. I pass National Assembly, Tonya the formula, two main parties of Minian Kola Molsiata.
Yeah, the full alcohol.
Kacha will manya ne kodi la kachala. And what the National Assembly? National Assembly mu demanding all it.
Our grassroots.
Because referendum member kela wala benchmark ni wala form kolayata. Dina National Assembly. National Assembly mu 3/4. But referendum pour que 3/4 so National Assembly. A kolayata bar wala soniata ka 3/4 so indi referendum.
For moli ke kilenti.
What a million ko they have that base. For will see involved very strongly in the dialogue and negotiation. By the daladron Woliaja Fonyo Kono like that coming go just any other fenkolu. Abekoleala lefu.
Abekoleala. Honorable Mojima Yine Adu, Iko in fact honey Minister Fongoya Folko at coffee time ko ajeko abekela hodul sleti if ning mobe man na yebulola nyoka. Na natrako atol lata wala. Civil society ngajele jige so Fongoya Folko if until MPP ni UDP the same agenda soto. Ilaf ibe sonko ilafta nye constitutional soto the constitutional soto. Imamira nunko Minketa first approach was we all believe consultation proper man soto. Wala atina MPP mole I feel like leko the president was targeted in certain clauses and obviously they thought it was wrong and they rejected it. Now that Atola Moda the executive place sembo soto ka biloni natina itola edit. Imamirako before editing and gazetting it and just the consultation should have been directly to stakeholders instead of just meeting all Ibn Chambers now, because all the meetings that the minister cited is with Ibn Chambers and Goodland Jonathan. I mean, doing all the meeting all the minketano, kabring a filtano. That was the process in the follow-up cake and purka moldi amundi kafo alnga ke kilintinga nyin so nyanta sonna nyina. But proper kabri to left a kanyin edit. There was no proper consultation. How would you want a document like this to pass if you don't consult and to people that you know? Also, they matter in the process. Do you believe that there should be a more proper, aggressive consultation than Minketa Tenti?
Well, yeah, Niwaketa is fine, but yalong constitutional building even in 2020, I remember.
Yeah.
International idea was here. It only called spearhead to do the groundwork. Can make so even national assembly members capacity in terms of understanding how constitutional bill nyadile and what are some of the things that were scrutinized like nyadile so minister behind the scene malong exactly what are some of the things but I consultation on menu 4 at that level, international idea it's a project where I think and then they were trying to call a lot of people, national members for political party, because I remember one of it even in our own consultation, representatives from political parties were there.
Yeah.
Discourse, yes, Italy feel that is part of the consultation, and that is what they took, and then but even that consultation during that discourse, I know very well a particular clause rita nim molma agriala waka self nim agrita menla we highlight. I remember very well during that consultation.
Yeah.
So report men suffer from that meeting. Minister will use ka.
Yeah.
Report men suffer.
But minister ko kunun press conference to ko journalist okay ko for everything me agreed in those consultation, is that what is reflecting on this? I could know.
I offer very clearly.
Yeah.
I offer very clearly.
So how is this the product of a consultation?
Yeah. Okay. Come inside, but okay. Because the executive is a stakeholder in making law.
Yeah.
Even though it's like a bill bay in someone parliament for parliament to look after them.
Yeah.
So, but then coming after I cannot talk on behalf of the executive.
Yeah. But you are okay.
Yeah.
You are on your national. Okay.
But now feel like consultation on Menketa. As consultation, and if they have done a much thorough consultation, it's still fine.
Yeah. Because the lights are not on. Yeah. Sorry about the break, is because of some network issues. Anyway, let's go back. Alhagie, every Thursday, okay, let's go. Now you are on a very important point, yes.
So what point is the year for consultation because now
yeah.
I'm not with all the determination to fight cabinet. Cabinet will look after it. Alhagie now that we come on going back to the political party leaders this year, would have been more important as well. So that it's a process of building as it is. Parliament, we can all agree. In 2020, so we're going to repeat correctly. But I know very well, they are in support of the draft, so we will definitely get there.
Let's look at some of the things that are in draft. If they are in support, some of us are not in support of certain things. For example, the anti-corruption bill. I remember hosting my...
I feel for it.
After you guys are in support of the draft. Are you in support of the draft? In fact, Chairman, I don't know, MPP, why they believe UDP will support this draft because they believe some of you guys will support it.
Yeah. Amanja ko draft ma support or no draft support or something like that. But since the very beginning, been drafting a fighter, what is the 2020? Now, men kan walamu the 2020 drafting anyantari introduced one. Now, membeje, I can National Assembly la dok what? Bao already a commissioner tax, the constitutional review commission ka doko nyinke. Ghana wala doko ke Kensent. Wala tindanko wala doko amurna ninga helol membeje nga min sute kono. Nga wol parendi ngadi na dibtola ni bela doko men kala yake. Bari malla hani tondo ay bolla do
silan tombo
kanare silan tombo boraje sulanin tombo boraje abla ka fontolo ko nga support lan kay yo bonde min tol di male o foy ndoro tombi kana boye
tombo
du ko be falinta
Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam
abela falinta de kabirin fo bakara fo wana srabi abe falinta
silan albe compromise la bang
ko nin tombo boraje
alta fay la
malla fala o nyama silan abe falinta abla nyin ka
o ta man jere nga ka chaaka ko tay abla
no ka compromise la ko jimbele be da science ba ka be fo dibito do ko la nyanta la je science
yeah
ala bla do ngay tambe ta level 2
ko abaya 2020 o kilo ngawlef Adi 2020 debate kono tol ngole ko second reading
alngata second reading
alnga bilo nyimbla tammi second reading
yeah
nkani hellol men fo al kanyin men fo
ngata ngi
min tara ngajibe ikoto rikstar
ha yalla mingi
ko to rikstala maybe nga ndol nga ferole tabi kam ha ni ko nga ferole tabi kam 2020 ita atambila to second reading sila ka fanyo fo wato diptol man do ko sor ha sanen diptol do ko sor ha.
So this is going to be crazy, though. It's going to be interesting. Gambian will after constitutional, but you talk to Gambian will be majority of Gambians. They'll tell you yes, we want a constitution, but what I see at least on social media, people tell you barola draft la nyenti. This is not a reflection of what we want. Honorable, let's come to some of the issues on the draft. The commission, the anti-corruption bill. Anti-corruption bill or bill nata. There were a lot of issues. Me alonko ibota bill kono. I remember source of wealth. Remember source of wealth, right? Alla mo ya bondi jele. Ngana deputy to Jana Suleiman. Ngai ko Suleiman bo why for we sila ramuna normal lafi wa accountability ako bari yala nindingo efendina more dina. I'm like no, but you can account for that, right? But some of those very good clauses were removed from the anti-corruption bill. So anti-corruption bill to make whole accountable wealth in certain ways, declare, so those things were removed. Now, in that constitution in the 2020 draft, and the corruption bill the government, the vice president and ministers and their spouses, Jenny Kadung Palasot, Inyantela assess declare. Ni botafana inyanta declare 2020 draft. And National Assembly members and judges. Now, this 2020 draft, ako, atol deputy, inyanta will declare before and after. Judges inyanta declare before and after. But ministers are only required to declare their assets only Jenny Bekele minister. And I said this here on my show last week with Lamin Jeda. Unko, deputy, luwa doko le matala dokoti. Mbuka any budget karafala pase departmental bo. Judges or luwa luwa le kuntu bari mantara pase any department minister nka million will do wallala. They have ministries, they have agencies under them. They do procurement processes on behalf of us. They are managing millions and millions of dollars on our behalf. And you are telling me, the assets declare, but government officials, ministers, declare. Honorable, how do you think that is feasible in any constitution? Is that something that you are looking forward to?
Not actually. When I declare about draft, I think it's still a draft. It still remains to be a draft. Yeah, gazetted. So when it comes to Parliament, coming for the wrong process in Beverwalto, when we sit over it, then we will be able to do those amendments. Can make so called. Even 2020.
But then this particular issue, don't deviate from it.
I agree.
What do you think? Do you think public officials like ministers and their wives should declare after leaving office?
You know, we look at standard law in every country. But coming left of them for the world in the co. What
is standard law in Gambia when it comes to that?
Yeah, provisional for thing. Like ministers, they declare before they become minister. Okay,
after.
No, I've not seen that before. I have not seen it before.
Yeah.
In the Gambia.
Yeah.
Since 1990.
But National Assembly members, are they required to do it?
Our declaration, you do your declaration before you contest with IEC.
But after? This is my thing. My argument here is National Assembly were not required to do it and judges before. But now, new constitution or co. Before and after. Before and after.
No.
But minister before, but after they are not required to.
Now, taking a position in that, Yalang will still now coming for. These questions will come.
Yeah.
And then the minister will respond to these questions by first level. What is the rationale behind? Perhaps we need to know all that. Maybe emotionally, because science and you cannot take position in the draft. Nobody has taken position on the draft for now. Because ma amuta officially ka read ka fenke nga galance le ko be mobe ka galance nyamen drom there are certain provisions they ko merit full of and then have taken position on them but yemen voting ida la miro lo ko okay that shouldn't happen la
wala gambe no be la miro
exactly
na milo ko bete nimbo nim bete account député wen ka loi da madam
mo section no read follow but you wala mo probably we will get there nim for parliament ko Alhagie ya fa nyame nim for the consideration okay because that is where we change the law ka jube mun ngeen tatar la loi ni ko at that point, there will be suggestions. Then the minister alone will be sitting there.
Ngalo neko al député atol NPP député. Al left barona la mazokunda la nyawnya. Al ta fa to under the boss and protect the ministers.
As of now, personally and any other person, mom any Alhagie for position that on the draft as of now.
Alhagie ko man ta carte fa.
I'm table for.
And yeah, I'm coming for.
Alhagie something like this.
Kunkono tandalam.
Yeah.
Wal kado. Nin ko tombo kana boje. Ngadi diptole la doko.
Yeah.
Kabirin bakara fawana sa be falent.
Be falent.
Ha o fahamo kolera bak.
Ay amurnije.
Ko me honya man na fola. Baranyina munna lodlat.
Yeah, lodlat. But saying come in section on infotente. Deputy ning Jojo are required to declare before and after leaving office. But government officials, ministers, are not required to declare their assets. Is that something that you think you are okay with when Nataya Atla at the amendments?
Manke isuti previously was if I manke isuti wala nka foko kodolu me alonko.
These are accountability issues.
In Nata, I mean, we are very surprised. Puro sifalien as talking points yolo o ajele. Ni abemu standard let. Ni National Assembly ya put to that level.
Yeah.
I think morally, even not legally.
Morally.
It minister bondino la wakono. Ni Jojo ke was 3 arms length. The executive, judicial, and then the legislature.
Yeah.
Ni flow BBJ. Eko lienda kila tentin. Eko kilomita kila ya alung itala mukoti. Ojibe nyabe manela.
And another thing, last time, was one of the contentious issues was also the powers of the president. Some of the MPs, our colleagues, they voted against the draft, was the 2020 draft. Some of them believe that there were a lot of powers that they were taking away from the presidency. They said the National Assembly was becoming very powerful, and then the president, every position, nyanta, nyanta kamla for approval. But we saw that in this draft, that was all addressed. The appointment of vetting the National Assembly,
ministers.
As National Assembly members, do you feel when it comes to this draft? Because there are 3 powers, there are 3 arms of government: the judiciary, the legislature, and the executive. The reason why you have these 3 arms is to check each other. Ila room will take overlap, and you don't check. Now, Natra nkombe progressively in all progressive societies, cabinet ministers go for approval. In all big democracies, cabinet ministers kata approval. But for me, I believe, in fact, I can let go of ministers because I believe these are political appointments. But positions like the office of the IGP, and Chief Justice and others, I believe proper scrutiny, and government presidents should not have interference in those. If not, it affects me, you, and other ordinary people in a livelihood, because me president will more appoint. Obviously, what a justice deliver no against the president fairly, natra manke motimia lonko, ala sila nya bala kwoto back. Now, do you think this National Assembly, this new draft, I had to listen both as National Assembly members?
No, actually, in fact, the 2020 draft, we said it before, it has stripped the president's power entirely. And I think that is also one of the reasons why even 2020 draft need cluster.
Yeah.
Because the CRC draft, I don't know for whatever reason, but most of the powers of the president were stripped off. I'm not saying the president should have excessive power to do certain things more for, but because we are talking about balance of power here.
Yeah.
So in Parliament, President Assembly Parliament for now. Even in the 2020 draft, when you look at the procedure for impeachment and stuff, even though it's a bit difficult, but start from was very easy to start the impeachment process. Critical at that point. So, but now I feel regular. And remember in the 2024 draft, we changed at least President Ola Powers will Murtamal or Sifal. Coming to ministers whether they should come for confirmation in Parliament. That is a debate. Dependent. These are political appointments. System of Cameroon. Not that we believe okay, ministers should come for confirmation in Parliament. That is still for the parliamentarians to decide when we get to consideration stage. Because it's a matter of law put in the book. The president and the entire executive can say, no, we don't want ministers to come for confirmation. But Parliament can say, no, you have to come.
Yeah.
Over process later. We will get there. All I'm not I wouldn't want to stick up okay, because we haven't get there yet. And I am working with people. And these things, and see what is the best approach for us to take. But I agree with you entirely. In lawmaking, there are things when you are more comfortable. So you probably something, but to some other person, maybe I have no, but maybe we will get a solution to all that. Yeah.
It seems like the president has taken back the executive. The issues, because I remember in 2020, Standard had a leaked cabinet report which told us all of these things. Minimum budget and thing of the cabinet position, Standard Yasotolenum Ayafo, the retroactive clause, meaning the president power mintala in this draft, it looks like the National Assembly powers then President power and the issue with a lot of people in democracies will have issues with somebody who is already powerful. The president is the #1 citizen. Powerful in the wrong problem. But again, somebody also said the CRC drafters Kabriba drafting maybe Tolemi situation and they try to take a lot of powers from the presidency. And that is why 2020 people from this other camp felt like the lot of powers was taken from the president. But in 2024 draft, the president will be very powerful if this passes. Do you have concerns about those clauses that were changed when it comes to the powers of the president?
Yalo ni ko kas president la power tala. Refe ko membe 1997 wala nyanta tarla wala nyanta prevail la. Barinko we are trying to improve na constitution. Abem wolde tenun otherwise we'll have continued with the 1997 constitution. That means a standard ni now set. Ntem maje ko womu president wala sembe talalati certain institutional head solo pour bewol tomwonna that will require National Assembly consultation ko e president la sembe tala anatra la to standard nyanta wala set la wala be bankolo kan an wo bankolo e ka deliver le president wi fango yam mol jibe lata menna ya jekori kamene menu fo ya sotole e londo sotole ya kobe sotole ye nominate ka ko lafta nyilol appoint la bari National Assembly fasita ya jibe appoint meno do kana National Assembly ka ci wala nyama
yeah
hardly ne bay president menu sam manan je wala jama be ka ta nimbe kala wala nyama ka jibe nyo fele ka tende president is not perfect ko moya hakil moya ko dolla mul ko mu sembe talalti kuma silang nunta sembo men katra lafita wo nunta sembo men be president bun kawol ngawol fenka e ko mu sembe talalti minister minister tombanda bankol kakel and we have tried to follow standard Santenting new kono a consultation jamabe jemen sama National Assembly ni safa almost ya be bonde hanne ma banka be ba siya batal abe wol kono hanama ke ministality Independent Boundary Commission molo IEC quand for IEC
yes
anyanta na national president ala consultation ke ala appointment anyanta na National Assembly for confirmation ya bonde anu ni o jibe o insul sifa wa sensitive tale
very sensitive
pour président damba yewo tombon mo klim modol ka sambile manyana o jibela ikom président la sembe talalti imagine ni te mo naturally ite mo tombon ani ite le tombo ite le council ya tombon
what is on for
ha akama o fa
ni ngeto mo to
sa ni luwa ko National Assembly nyanda wo mol jibela le mo sifal mo o ikol mo président la sembe talal
bari fatu
ngana ko teke
mbado nga nyindla ma do mandikre te na tambila jere
okay mo loti
mbemenna niaye akata wo nyama okay, now let's take for an example the current situation in parliament ma président la sembe la tala fo wonte but na même fo niko even handle okay, let's say confirmation of appointments président ma sembo so pour que fatu appoint for the parliament ya approve ya lon ko wala fo but the time you go to a parliament me ya lon ko president mo majority of the parliament, for example, like what is happening right now, or maybe like before, majority of the parliamentarians are part of an opposition political party against the president and our government. How do you see the scenario in parliament? You think that appointment will go through? It will never go through.
See, you know why when it will go through?
No,
when the president brings a competent person, it will go through.
It will never go. It will never go. Another work. You see, Alhagie knows very well. We know what is happening in parliament.
I'll be a political lens.
You see, you cannot deny. No. I'm not saying that. It deny the call in parliament. Come on, for I start nyame. What make parliament? Most of the cases, these are issues emanating from political parties, because we all come from political parties. Of course, political party position can reflect in parliament.
Yes,
let me tell you
that's true.
I can reflect it. And another political party la position will reflect in parliament. When it comes to appointment, if the majority of names belong to a certain political party that are not in government, no appointment will go through parliament, because anytime I'm not by regular.
I have seen appointments that have been approved at the national assembly. Go ahead. Yeah.
Bari nga fuko la bankol be tamat bankol be Gambia dunia kono min be nyin tamande kan
even America
and aka scenario si fami fo
bi wala divide dunia hada badal
scenario si fami minu fo
e
ka soto wotole bari ka make sure the best all produce the essence mu walati ini sa fo tomo anu fo lodula ye soto je même comme mata muna mo qualification de requirement nyolti bari hanni opposition kede balati yalo ne kon tolla jam manke wo opposition si falti ndol balanta menna tonya kannam e tolle ni la political lenso kana bari tol ninna banko la lens le kana tumande ninga ko dol ko kabir ko ha comme ma yilla ko mi fombe kala jitten hali après ne jamale nata mina ko simlatin nemu bari pastal san ten commission members men fenkata nge confirm fancy balan fante balan no lawol.
We are thinking in the future.
No, am kandale ha bay be sign for ya in the future bari bi kan loi de da nyin kama kon kan loi de da la men fanne sansan am koy kawle sansan mole le carte fay président anun député fana mole le carte fay président na la lodu lalam député na la lodu lalam bar président ta fele ko atabe loi nyin de dala pour nyin kambala min baate sansanna min be dara to numa be dara banko min be dara banko be wala taala be wala fokan ministre dole be gebe ministre yala bibi lala wal man jara ministre yala ni ata tenten drobe kala wal man nyen na kala ministre ti bare nyina si tenten dro nyin keno akana be dam président wala itela jibero ke mo klim mo fula wala mo yefara ko lafta kar ñu la tombon akake dulal tole and will be divided parliament lel soto for America.
Bibi wala parliament
karon le ko congress ko do ko saro republican will come more members in the senate or in the national assembly by katale
on bal to na vetting ketanum tenu ni vetting bena system okono tenum being a minister rek bi nyaaje ministry flama minister soto is because we didn't have proper vetting. The president appointed somebody who has a U.S. citizenship. He moved to a U.S. citizenship. He get a minister for months. loi le violate wodulato because ni na loi koleko if you are a dual citizenship soto imanya na kela minister kodi or na banko loi. Now these people, maybe if they were vetted properly, if they had gone through a vetting process, maybe this would have been detected. So sometimes I understand the political angle there, oppositions, president nomination or not, they can be sometimes very difficult to get them through. But also as a government, sometimes these things help because vetting processes or sometimes are working properly. For example, in scenario in Tamilano, the National Assembly, these things would have been flagged. They would not have been ministers for B, a banco put at a standstill because as we speak, we don't have 2 minister positions. Minister and these people serve as ministers for months. And they violated. Whose fault is that? It's the president. Because he should have known that he should not appoint people who are dual citizens. So sometimes vetting when it comes to a system. I know political lenses can be used, but I always tell people, constitution building, we cannot look at B. Some of them, if a advocate can be, it will come after them. So that is why, you know, you don't have to disagree on issues just because you are in position. You're not going to be there for 100 years. I left the Alhagie for 10, 50 years, 100 years, good. But I made a nyanya for Falingweke.
Absolutely. So,
you know, you are going to be in the opposite side of these things and you're going to be fighting to say, no, the law should have been there. So sometimes it is looking at the broader picture of things than just saying, oh no, a president or a power star. You don't want a very powerful president sometimes.
I think it wasn't only about president or power star because he doesn't want ministers to come for vetting or what. It was not, that was not the case.
Yeah. Because the IEC chairman, somebody like that, and council members, weren't the vet.
Yellow being processed this time, but the yellow coming for them, we are improving. Maybe Ninta the first seat we will look at all that. But I know what I know in the core. They're trying to look at the balance of power.
Yeah.
Whenever executive powers in terms of appointment. Appointment. And I mean, these are not things when you are coming financial probably are offended now. Maybe they have done a lot of study, can understand. But it's for the people. I agree with you.
Yeah.
We will look after it and make sure what is supposed to be done. We can assure you that. But in terms of public appointment confirmation, we are doing that currently in Parliament.
Yeah. But I don't keep it. For example, people for me, the ministers I don't have a big issue with that. For me, my issue is with the office of the IGP. Should be vetted. For me, the IEC chairman should be vetted. These are things they should go through proper.
As somebody else will tell you, no, why would you have to vet the office of the IGP? Probably.
Like seriously?
Somebody might tell you that.
No, nobody will say that.
How do you know?
Unless nobody will say that.
You cannot say that. But remember, more opinion. Okay, IGP can appoint Nyameng even in the constitution. We have all seen it. President can appoint in the 19.
That's what we want to change.
Constitution.
Because we all believe the 1997 constitution is not progressive enough. And we have seen how former governments have used the IGP's office. And we have seen samples of Bimba Kerin B. Yeah. I'm sorry, the IGP is my uncle, but this is the truth.
But some of these things, I'm not the Molia Samana. Nico President IGP appoint la.
And then recommend and approved by the assembly.
That's still fine. But all these things, there should be like, like an objective sort of what are some of the basis. Yeah, even CRC can be a report on people need to read all that.
They did write accompanying Fengo to justify everything. Yeah.
Okay. Those things would have also helped a lot of people can understand. But let me tell you, all these things more understand IGP president. But don't understand, and these are all Gambians. And they all rely on the same book, so it becomes a problem. But minister's appointment, none of the parliament for confirmation is still fine with me. I don't have a problem with that. I'm not going to problem. So long the president vet appoint, I make sure the due process is taken. everybody even appoint the bill let's say like credentials will be they are intact and then I don't have a problem with that. But I think we have a bill already a person on the vetting bill is because
I love vetting bill. Being the discuss like I love vetting bill.
But it's
no, I have a problem with that bill. No, it's not.
It's for
the vetting bill mantra about issue of appointment.
No, but incoming for
vetting bill. How can you? That is another conversation. But how can you even determine who is loyal to the state? How is that determined? What lens do you use? I have a problem with that vetting bill, but that is for another conversation, and I want you to come to that here. But Honorable, is it also ko atul fananyanta fengodol blala? Because I think the 2020 draft, the main problem ba for mujama mi for on this retroactive clause nti. Na trato ya nkalbe baro winno la por. Apa jari nga fa le afa kana ron ko te. Ala bula dron. Al songata barelo ali having polsto. As long as, because the thing is, there should be a lot of things that they should let. But I'll see that barola. Because now Mansila, I'll not bulala, baroena. I got 2026 a baronal. Where we can do no banyama, natra nung, 2020 draft past no, baroteronla. And the momo ko baroeko. Nyine bekira last time te ko constitution onete sotola ntol minete constitution no ta faila ito o faila te sonna so for those bula nyine like side lateral fane dobla do you think at some point alfana nyanta will let go lale and go to the battlefield and fight and get winning there fair and square
yalo ni ko ala bula thank you al nyanta nyumbula la al ka bula tabulo to Nkaula alkabula tabilol. Nyine bale bulu ala nyimbula la tala nyene nga kambe nyine. Minde ko no wala kachati.
Kacha.
Wala man tara caring. Nko ni draft nyin deda. Ntol ko banko mol men bula ye draft ye ke. Alwo di National Assembly la. Kabirin no 2020. Ndo man femuda nga foko ni manke antafenkala
Ismail Ceesay ko
am kanale
okay
Ismail ko kanale
okay go ahead
alta ala samba to the next level ni fura punda bunda kacha be kelale hanni ko nyina mo ni nga nyo kawnyori mbe abula nyoyel
okay
nyina mo na lodulate ahankay nga fo suno sura bundal tole Bandin tara kacha ngoro sila mfura down wala consideration nyinti opposition ka compromise ndel bandina ko hani ndita wo kacha judo to la stade di konte futala woto
hay manson secondary ko nyalo wot
bar na miro sura bundal to ani taflo ko to miro sura la bundal to
of course
na miro sura bundal to ali nga bula nin tata nyanda sira damedo momo la miro be damna nga kacha
o mangi MPP
ya understand Hanna manke MPP to
amanke baro député
bara mu baro la
sambe political party
baro député
ni hani manke baro député
atolo baro
MPP ma so follow
baro député
atolo independent wala jama MPP to independent wala follow ali ni ya fay mbe wala
ni na itolo baro député
ko ifinta wo foy ko la foy jamba baro la bar ni ya fay ndebe wala la kono wo ni nga woke mo miro men bebul mbewlel jibel basila woketa naate hakil blan murta wolle kam ko be nyamen nga mundo nyamal kana fen bondije min furada flat blañin to be kacal dan se kaca woto baka ko man into ma miro so na miro so to an to lo miro ma fa ko forcé wolle be lola mo wo fo barin ko nga futa nyanta bula damina nyanta jibela damina nga futa woto alkana fembon je foni furata wat itare ya be fale
kana be be
wada me bikan hadani ba
ma be falinde
Dr. Ceesay ko ako ato UDP ato latina man de constitution osor ako mitino min be keta mo d'accord ta fe mo belale ato le balanta ni retroactive clause nina ako d'accord kita ko bela wata tele si leader ya te be opposition ako d'accord ta ko bela akato le balanta
yalon docteur namina te ma inform ko sa de ko katal mi wato constitution fighter fam wo kalam daba akan won menu fo wo kacal wo keda wato ko so fayrin kola la wal keta nganye fo ko jannin ata draft ni mina national assembly wato la nyanta kacal nyin kela ñam sar sira draft nyin de ndo politika party janne bi national assembly munna miroti den ye kene bula ñoy bari ton sonta ko membe jen ko alinga tambindi to the next level nga kachake mol balantala docteur man aware ma informed aka mem fo wato draft mina bayrin kola lem san draft nya murlin kola minal beje retroactive na lodula mintu wala mu abe nyama CRC adada nyama abe nyama to nyama fo na fara another level mo sabula na yuri be balanta wala yuri be ma fay men ya fay ma walja ha
kunu nga wala blame bar biya to le blame
ha bar ko le tan bayro bra faytal nga bayta wo kola lamu birin kacha be kacha manke wo kola lan kacha nara birin kacha nara wo bunda min to ngana lo layil tande wala nyam ko abe nyamen na ay to nyam ni for another level consideration ni kacha kida muli ajibe nyamen na laftal nyamen nga to nyam ba ni ndo da nyina mun na lo dulat ha bar docteur fana malon ko wo bunda e ka bundal be fole bar wala bunda kumoti e ko sulu fam baymen na
retroactive
ha wodrunum president wo first time kana traje isa ye ning ata aka ganya si 10 times as 2 times or 15 years
ma ko nyamba
ha sai wala beje
but say ya nyinde no past the president so lono another 2 years another 2 times
ha ye nyum fandam food wala nyama in kana da food wala nyama ay man so ngala 15 years la bar sai 10 years lam plus another 10 years 20 years na jibe la flamen for 20 years lambang for open and wala mu 1997 no time.
And this is my question here. B meaning na UDP sonta ye fengo dol amend come the other sticking issues retroactive clause ning ye songala at least we know ne 50 plus 1 the constitution okonole at least we know ko hanna mete nyaaw nyama na winter ate tambila another 2 times la wala fisiata ngata 1997 constitution oto mi alongo open ended no ni president Barola for 30 years as a terror contest la now the balance here is very delicate. What will UDP up to do afari ajibe wo angol fanana because now when you don't edit al tata al kachata e ko dolbula ale dolbula e ko dolbula at least we know ne we have a 2-term limit which starts in 2026 kata president also contest no 2026 and in 2030 so we want another 10 years later now nim tuto aleta batul filot nim ganyeta e ganye but nim ko hani nim baby jen tolta mala fang nga fay banta we go with the 1997 ngami balam president Barrow can contest for another 10 times now after by the world 1997 now the options here what is the way forward? I know, to be honest, I am one of those people who say this draft belongs to the dustbin. Because in my own opinion, I said to myself, this draft was conceived for one and only thing, to protect the president and the cabinet. That's it. That was the belief, that is my belief, and that's what I said on air. And I said it here. But again, I still believe that. Yeah, they are like protect, ka minister protect, ka president Barrow protect, ka Ladimbayal protect. That is all. Nothing there for the Gambian people. That's what I believe. But again, you do the like a single dole bula probably edit. At least we will have a constitution. Me alonko as a time limit soto, me alonko as a 50 plus 1 soto, me alonko at some progressive laws soto lale, me alonko abije. Warning ka 1997 today, munem bargaining fengo tija.
Yalla idika bargaining men fo mu kacalete. Bani man tablo londe kacabe keno nyaadil.
Ben sila kanali al député bunkon. Falta kacha ke no auto fo.
Député bon.
Ha.
Haya député bon lo kacha o kara almost ko ni sila banda da men wala mo kacha bi kakawto.
Oh.
Yalla kawa député bon la kan. Ko membe ko constitution no. Political party la kan wala. 2020 biri cabinet benda e kumata. O denkilo la député ol yolo.
Député table time
Et la député ol. Et la député ol.
Itollo.
2020 la kan. Yo wala fo. Andu ni sulo fana. Abe wala nyama. Yalo membe je ni ko what is the way forward? The way forward. Anna mantarde. Amantarde.
Okay.
Attorney General.
Ha.
Aya la gazetting. Aya withdraw.
I withdraw.
The 2020
Draft.
Aya re-gazette. Let them go back. The political concentration ya intensify. La contentious issues nole. Ya agrita menna. Ya attack ya the National Assembly la. I'm talking from the honest point of view. Comme no mola miro menye kol membe be keka kol membe be fokan. Man nyato jala. Ning ay men gaseteng ay wole sambana. Man nyato jala National Assembly, man nyato jala referendum.
Referendum fana man nyato jala auto.
Let's talk honestly as Gambians. Mantra politika kachala sande. Be Gambia kachala. Ika fengo gasetle ya withdraw akakela. Or before me saying it, let them have national political dialogue. What is the way forward?
Is it possible though, instead of withdrawing this right now, by the gazettery, also to just, go back to Badimbu, have a consultation now, bring political leaders in Damalu and talk about this and see what is there?
If they can do that within 3 months, 3 months level, then after 10 days, I now possibly to National Assembly. It took good luck and then Ibn Chambers. Coming in 2020, up to now they are on the process. Consultation. 4, it will number mediator mantraje. First work no.
We don't need those people to mediate. We can solve our own problems.
How do you, this is what I'm saying? 4 told number siwo kenole within that short period. Why I'm called main isita.
I do withdraw.
And then withdraw and introduce. If the main kacha can go, minimum contentious isulti. Ni kambenta menna. Yawa sambana. But I'm a general fenkoti. In fact, the constitution, the draft was subject to general review. Aketa revised, total revised draft. And the other 1997 in civil 1996. The draft that was put before, the draft was taken to nationwide consultation. Birega Nata. Mol diamta. The junta made series of amendments. They revised the draft. Main tata to the referendum was the revised draft constitution. In fact, this one, they should not even call it the draft constitution 2020. They should have called it the revised
2020
draft constitution.
Revised, but it's revised.
Exactly, because Niagibe, they were working on the 2020.
Yeah. You will revise.
You will revise. You have to revise.
You use as benchmark, yes.
You understand? So, okay, you should have involved the key actors, the political parties. But to be very honest, I mean, this series of changes menkera I could call the bakele. I could call the Attorney General cannot convince or cannot defend the draft constitution before the Parliament, even nationwide. Anytime na diamta akakumwa me alonko akaka seniandile baraka be dum yo kono akamulla mindful fenkadle to be very skeptical.
He was not convincing, honestly.
Alhagie is bragging about his numbers in parliament. That's why.
No, not necessarily.
No, I like
it's a numbers.
But hey, you have numbers.
it's a numbers.
You know I have number.
I know that.
And you are not making good use of
You are not consulting him.
And you don't need a constitution.
So the thing is, Mala Aguilera Minti Ko, Honorable, I might refi constitutional pass.
No, of course not.
Well, let me tell you something. And I'm really, I have a conversation with J. Darboe, and the school of thought he brought along, do they want a constitution? Because me of the constitutional, even the minu kela, pura kana fail come 2020 keta nyaming, ima osilo ima fenta. Now, we know that the international community obviously have been advocating. ECOWAS, watu barota raje, you can file constitutional na. Okay, but unga edit nga sa mga alno ko ba file le. Kato nga nimin beke de hanin te fo ninda dipite bungo to mbanyim file. Nimin beke raje. Nina ati nante afika dipite bungo. Nin fa ati na lafta kalom. Bari yalo na plaza. No, they you so tell a politician. No. But the thing is, all of these things that have Alamin change the draft, Alamin change your government. If this doesn't pass, right? No, MPP government law. Gamba government law, yes, Mbela government law, Tonyalo. But Allah executive mola did they did not do it on my behalf. The draft was not done on my behalf. But what I'm trying to say is that the mola miro mean to all because he malafi constitutional law. Imalafi constitutional, because Mimi left a constitutional. Some of the things that have been changed should not have been even. Because the contentious issues, citizenship law, and retroactive clausing, but actually all day today, honey education, honey fair mirror, honey integrity is paragraph of me along with you guys, yeah, they bondage. The minister was not even, like the minister could not defend that. The only thing he was able to say, it's subject to FENCO, we are waiting. If you're doing something, why are you scared of litigation on others? Honorable Abdoulie. So seriously, the issues that were contentious in 2020, not all the malafoma, nzafoko ha. But you mean ma, asiatale, ya left the constitution or about.
Of course we want constitution. No, Yalong executive and cabinet commander come in parliament. They can debate over issues and then I agree and then they move on. But remember statement to sign thing. 2020 was better. In 2020 there was nothing like NPP. There was only President Barrow and other political parties. No, but that's what we're hearing now. You know that very well.
Barrow Youth Movement of okay,
there was no NPP.
Okay,
there was independent candidates.
Who supported the president?
Who supported the president?
Good.
Okay, no, who sympathized?
Who sympathized with the president?
Yes,
and they voted the wishes of the executive.
No.
But you agree with me at the beginning.
No.
Okay, I reject.
No, but I told you, we rejected it based on good reasons because we are also representatives of the people.
Okay.
We were not representing the president, neither the minister or anybody.
Okay.
We were representing the people of our constituencies.
Okay.
Despite Dolby left a pass, Dolby left a pass. But coming for, for us to sign, this is the revised draft constitution.
Yeah.
Even Samana. Maybe they are not afraid of MPP, they are not afraid of President Barrow.
Yeah.
Okay.
President Barrow.
For me, I think we can go to the table. We can move on. Nana, let's move on. All political parties as of now come here. The minister can start the consultation.
But 2020 months ago.
There was no MPP. Now there is MPP.
But as an independent man, you refuse.
No, I was not representing
there was no
MPP party. I was representing only my
There was no MPP, but there was President Barrow.
But President Barrow cannot come on the table.
So now, before Emmanuel in 2020,
there was no MPP, but there was President Barrow. And there were MPs who backed the agenda of President Barrow, as they used to call it.
Yes.
They can do President Barrow agenda and support.
So, Sam, for the development. UDP, yes, they are the major opposition political party in this country. You know that. I mean, with the numbers in parliament, of course, there will be no constitution.
Yeah.
I know that. So now, let's go to the drawing board. Let's compromise and move on. I know very well, coming for even for. we can compromise. There are certain clauses, even the executive Parliament can, you know, we have those powers. We can remove them.
But you said something here before.
I can tell you.
I could bank on the RICO. When it comes to vetting, Parliament, party mean for what can reflect on Parliament. If this document is coming from your party executive, that's the cabinet.
Agree.
Whether you will agree to Kielakumo undo, especially if this is what they want.
No, you see, every political party, Alhagie knows very well, every national, come like grouping soul.
Because I can remember because I remember that. FGM do it again, Kabano correct. I'll be a balantano. But Kabri, I didn't about him, I'll cook. No, seriously, you guys went back and yeah, so this is what I'm saying. But this is how you operate.
Yeah, but to be honest, Fatu, come again for the long. I mean, consider building processing among easy all the time contentiously and the can disagree.
Yeah.
Close so coming up in science and but federal statement science whether they are for executive president Samsung or whatever in the 2024 draft or not.
Obviously.
As it now, take believe them all in the call. Draft let's go to parliament. Landing objectively, including UDP and any other political party in parliament. I'm very much so we can reach a consensus. We can reach compromise and see so the Gambia can have a constitution. Definitely, I believe in that. But in Sarada Karaba Conference Center, I remember during the consultation, we all agree. This time when the draft come to parliament, we will compromise and then the draft will go. Alhagie, we are there.
The 2020.
Let me put him through.
Yeah.
Meeting
meeting. Consultation.
What process? We are
going through the
consultation.
Okay.
What conclusion on for political parties or forum. The same all for you. Many men bela pula faida. Many yantakela wolamu, let them go back. Our political parties only consensus sort of on issues, especially men salient ones. But honey would do like a member. A manjako point on an agreement ma agreement. Optional del beje. Yinsikenola. But a manjako agreement lelta on issues nyol. Especially the key ones nyol. Many yalong ko resource personnel yo various optional lel fenka. Yinsikeno si fallam. But in can me tandi. Kacha antul manke kacha lalti. Atialone very well. President wa memuta. Atele sauna wala.
Honey.
Yeah.
Man political council ngawo fo.
Ha.
Na political council. President wa memuta. Atele sauna wala.
Idefanan.
Sakura isu me yalong ko.
Idefanan dawa me fo fante sauna wala.
As far as political interest is concerned, go etandi. Constitution nga follow ko. National document lemu. Bari a political connotation so that therefore a political interest sotole.
Yeah.
Nkana nyone ne wala.
Tonyala.
Ak ila interest ka emanate from your respective parties so lela. It's not about Darboe. Yeah. It's about the party.
Yeah, the party.
Wala interest menti Allah line kata wolto. Even though we have that national connotation as well. La ya lone president wana abafola ko president assemble. Adele president assemble tala la député bon. President la me tala.
Ana to tala.
Asi okay.
Ati na ya faino.
Na okay.
Fete kala ko berente. Ndema
ati na
okay abekela independent.
Ndega all new represent.
On the what party?
On the NPP. Yes, but you know
NPP, who's your secretary general?
President Adama Barrow, like any other
party. And he wants all these powers. You are not going to take that from him.
I can tell you in this case, Alhagie knows very well, UDP as a political party want a new constitution for this country.
Yes.
The president also wanted a new constitution for this country.
Under what?
UDP level constitution, but not this time.
What is wrong with this one?
President Mialanko Abuchata, ya kuntum.
See? So saying pro na.
And this is the work. Let's solve the problem. Then in the Dunakono. Sifa is very good. Many programs you are sort of getting executive consulting in Sambalana. Na collect na debate it's too late.
But it's saying.
But remember, Jay, I don't think I forget the men kick and jang.
Yeah.
Nte benna honest opinion a manja ko ni parti le sita.
Yeah.
Ni ngay nyim fo. Di wenka ko ni rationalize nyamen na mol ka nya mol men fo kan. Jannim be tardela.
Kajai.
Men nyenta kala wayke. Pol ga fadi be diam gane boyta be diam. Sa ko rabiri ministre ni foko ye mol console. Mol be diam.
Mol be diam kan yes.
Wo nyenta ministre ni nyenta inform lale. Naate ya mira kacha kera bor mol ya muda ko kacha manche. Wala silang ay kacha nyini bang.
Yeah.
Akana si wala akana otardendi. Ni kacha ta ye memfo is okay. Wala ndi forward de ban nga ye muda je ha ay kacharan. O man samba dawara mol ko man kacha. Ida ko mol lawo lodula ibola yon fandila. Ibela lodula ibola bambandila. Mambe kulunko de jibatala de
andu comme ya political party leader so start akadiamu Halifa Sallah ya minister la and then process nim fonko now everybody nga UDP la fenko but I'll come to Doi Foster ya minister ko Halifa Sallah consultation will be attend except the one in Abuja Forea is Safaroke B Forea is Safaroke ko they are Halifa is rubbishing that claim
no
Halifa Kabiri Halifa reached out on the comments on the claim that the only consultative meeting he did not attend is the one held in Abuja. He confirmed that neither he nor the PDOS had attended any consultative meeting held by Goodluck Jonathan, either in the Gambia or in Nigeria because of their futility. He indicated that he attended only one meeting conveyed on the chairmanship of the former Ibn Chambers to tell them that the CRC draft consultation was dead and that section 226 would have been complied with in order for a draft consultation to be brought back to the National Assembly. He told them that the executive would have to establish a consultative committee that would rely on the CRC text as a working document to get the views of all stakeholders after educating the whole nation on the content. Halifa said that was the only meeting he attended. That was the only meeting he attended to make it clear that the endless meetings were a waste of time. So number one, if you are claiming consultation keta karbije wo finta ko mantaraje nga UDP fanana just before I came they were responding to the minister, they were rubbishing our claims. So already the process itself problem will be jele because it have a meeting keta la consultation or keta iko imini consult wol ko no iman consult. So already there's a problem there, honorable. I know you were saying let's go to the National Assembly and have these meetings, but until executive and political parties it will be difficult. Alhagie will not take a position on his own. Party mang songala. Ite fanante position otala mi alon ko ila parti la interesting. So and then dola deputy min bije hani kilinom at a position otala damante dola position man clear to him. Now for us to have all of that, it is the executive that should take that lead and consult. Ni 3 months o min bakono before ngatambi wala consultation or am late. But until that is done, you cannot tell us go to the assembly because ya mna bekela. Ali afai nu nyami ba afai la nyam. Do you think your people should start a consultation now and reach out? Maybe just start a consultation. Instead of going to the media, it's mail about thing, and they're not convincing nobody. Because the Gambian people have made up their mind. Malam fake comments on social media.
Of course I am.
90% of the people are not, they believe because the first interpretation of Minketa, more believe that Minke family. Will be more the first mistake they did was if you draft him and for more. For bring more journalists or not explain. Now they're trying to be on the offensive, can defend. Already more than follow it can make it offensive to more. So what do you think your people should reach out and start a consultation?
My people came
civil society nata.
Yeah.
Well, last forum about this constitution. Yeah, come on, the constitution we want.
You know, Nafa? NPP manna? No.
The constitution
Mariam confirmed that on my show.
Sila ya jube. Ningare ka ko molla fango ñu views ñu wala lu keje.
Yeah.
Welcome for the constitution we want. For wala better la autobahn. Civil society.
But saying honorable before ngata finally alon ka be ñu ne afay. Ngolo ko itole ne député bu kat draft of fay. And up to binte ko lo fay tole afay. Barona la mol. Bari sila ñu ndom fana nanata. Nadol fana ya reject. Iba fana le ko atole ya reject. Do you have those concerns ko?
Ni molta. Wala manya na file. Nimo barola constitution la tide. Hani mtolka e molta samana. Hani kanale ndolka e molla constitution awo samana. Akana la constitution samana ntolede. Na la constitution samana ta jibel sakunga fay.
But 2020 what rejected?
Molla constitution hani mafoko me rejecta.
But it's the same constitution 2020.
But sila membe nyin ko nyi menja lon ko ya samana ya revise le. Kan to di begele.
Habari ko ndiko.
Nim fon fara futo lan ka nyanda fara na adaje bel.
Bari
Anin kana let's put it that way. Ni ko fara 2020. Ifo nyanda fara mu bel.
E ko dol betata je.
Sila wi wala beje. Wala tinan ko
2020 draft ni.
Well 2020
rejected. With like a lot of reasons, more than many them from the 2020 draft, may I think they reject 4 months ago. Yeah, highlight in at that time it was in parliament. So men reject ma foko at murno because I have not seen any law ka foko men reject am come parliament more in parliamentary process.
Kada le fengo reject le jojo la bilo ya murni nan ko.
Aka
Fengo reject no la
nyame ani ninka murno na nyame. Murno na nyame.
Don't Francina.
No la we went for a consultation. We went for a consultation on the judicial bill.
You don't fancy that
for 3 days.
But you don't
no. Correct you.
No.
But you don't want that consultation.
Allow me to come.
Okay, go ahead.
2020 draft ni rejected no.
Yeah.
Everything I rejected. Obviously, it has to find move back. Consultation. I think a thorough consultation to go back to the people put more than no. These are going to be consultation may be limited to a certain level because the provisions in the 2020 draft bottom one level. Remember the there are certain clauses when you feel like among balance back. That one pointy.
Yeah.
Many can contentious clause at that time.
Yeah.
Maybe executive. If they have gone beyond, I'm not talking about that. One executive la position but until agree on problem during Kayunga reject. No one and the more highlight for will finish the banta. So obviously I expect the 2020 drafting for as
amen. Yes.
All the kind for amendment also keno for I murna kotenga. So I'm a more stage right now. So nim murna sign. Ninda mito nim murta. Nim draft on table with those amendments. Many alonko will la fata J. Let them look at that first. You will identify your feeling and you don't double jele. You can start what ma fi ko understand but ni mo ko na no ifana ya reject bim
ko male minke
am na ko nelo nyama ko aske
mbe dula fa na
do continue nyama membe je let me correct him judiciary building janding abinalemu ntata nga workshop so over it janna abinala amanja ko men ko ala rejection ko lalem okay bring janna binala yung tada nga workshop
rejection the first one coming reject we went for
then inata ya samanang reject kaje so nyindo to ntol nga me advisement al ngata from first second reading na refer to the committee e mol consult e ka pointol menu fo ni wole meni recommend ngana consultation stay lafta men falina nga fala as simple as that e ko hani
alla di wala wonu
en ko fo na debate
bara ni wala because ay ngam fo
hani ngam kana
la ngam fo ko parti fula ko say NPP UDP bar ngana time bar ngana ko about
independent about
but we are
independent wo party wal be aldo one voting right less to
ma NPP fo awon barom independent net
what are independent come out what are barom independent come out
barom independent net
come out
all the independent any independent allies ñol nde wol len Allah be yel level le bari wala may bari jegla de ina nin to level andi ila may ya ala time yom bula num like yes sa ko da dinko
okay
ye dinko da num yen tulum benje iko drama ko na de ibari jegla al ngi jube
andale we
no but memen na imam ko na mala fi constitution because ni la fi constitution no dialogue be kala no ala time ifana mala fa
bale ni rizo wa dialogue mala
no before mi na mbol
fa kamem fo bring executive kumata
imam kumata
hani bewol 2020
kumata gimale
kumata
hani biri kumata kabri ay de ma moy bari executive kumata dorong wala position ta ako parti de kerinde par independent baro be kerinde
ani manke independent
ani mo independent baro le ani même fo ninga be mo bala 2016 coalition kono an wol be ani men be ko kili an wol be tatal ndol nga wala foy ko al ngata al kam menu fo nyinni ngal man la fi menela intera consideration nga jibe
sembo ba
ko han yamay ako waro sembo be sa bi sa metetol
mo fo yibe men nango memen
waro sembo ben to wala na man la fi ngata yalla min beje yo fere be ke kan
no bari mo fere jang
na tata min consideration stage
ni yalla consideration stage
more ministerial committee to
simple majority la
committee stage
consideration mu simple majority amen ke two thirty you understand
so meaning
am automatically
it only
president men control nga majority lo soro de labi every provision wrong nim to la fo amen nyamen na wolbe prevail la you understand wala ne kwa kana tam second reading in silo majority be tol bulu iko nin tata nga jibe nga falndro ke majority tan tol bulu o si keno ba
don't we are going for compromise now
ani de anto la man compromise
very clear on this
don't we have open na fo
committee stage because committee stage atol le siade je so ala decision le be
yala ñu ketolo be caring minu man tara banta wol malon ban yo parlement yalon membe ceka
kana mon la parlement ko be
ñu ndan na kullo be wañal haba ñine be
but we need to know this
ñine be jere
just mental kala people like me I was talking to Mustafa before now he was like I think they should go to committee stage and edit some of those
things mansong ay tambi committee stage la iko wato majority be mbulle lafta amen men na be wolbe kela sai ka fontol ko al tambi committee stage ngata consideration majority be bul ntol si amen men keno bang
ba ko yalla
with minority
do part compromise la we are ready compromise
what I could say ko nyim dead on arrival nothing you follow it looks like this is dead on arrival
so but near 2020 draft ni samana ngala lo compromise wo mita committee stage le
ale
nim 2020 draft nata
wala people's constitution
ani wona
hani people constitution wala tinnan ko let's sila nga political talk bond na Gambia talk mo la constitution yo sambana bawo constitution yo di baro ani baro fonde dawda jallo constitution
baro constitution
bare yala di baro
ala di baro constitution foroya ko is the baro constitution mali ko baro papers baro papers foroya ko baro constitution baro
sai we muru tonya nin tenyo nene la na alla fita constitution la ya fako atlem the first president of the Third Republic.
And this is my argument.
Afonka men for na legacy. Emphasize nyamen. Now left all about in fact that's going to be the best.
Yeah. That's the biggest legacy you will have.
Now la president ya bang without a constitution. Yeah.
So what is your
agenda day?
So muna mu bonat ñu constitution na balia. Atin mo nyanta wo fulail. Anu ngano ko intelligence o file. If you want this constitution to pass,
yeah, there has to be consultation.
Yeah. Minister mem for a non-starter.
Yeah.
Not a belief to come consultation. It's not helping him.
Ngoya ntifo dodo fon so la me but Ismaila Ceesay ni alonko ateli mota ko so fela ko barona la député le la constitutional fire ateli af biya nata ka fo mo like ndibu ka lo fo mantere Gambia ki ngol ko no
bala alam palaso la mo
no seriously all due respect to Ismaila but seriously
da jale no la wato opposition la mati face opposition
and this is the problem opposition very serious
sila nga tela mu information minister five months la kuma diba fa
apa ko tino njabi ako mo la ko 2020 draft
so in 2020 nata right now MPP le majority soto in 2020 nata always sono like our committee state
2020 already ko political party sol ye men identify ko ñulle mu
contested is there
we fenkara ye compromise soto on them
okay
until we are very ready for compromise
okay
ko niyo sambanang attack to the draft it's a way out.
Okay. But that will stop us to go to consideration stage and do
we will do that.
Alla parti flow d'accord ta. Alla parti balbe d'accord ta badimbu. Alle document or tayabala. Ni mena era promise break. Ni mena era promise break at assembly.
Manda ota wala mo ko ota wala ko.
Ale
ka ota pour
nte mandra constitution so.
Ni for the consideration stage. Hanna tare agree on certain things. Still now. Still now, continue consideration. We can do some. I understand very well.
In terms of
what's in our
offensively, the falling to the kid but it's cast stock your smell. I know technically, but in matter on substance, well agreed to Milna. Of course.
I agree. Agreement.
So say,
agree.
Whoever breaks that, the government people will hold you accountable. Whoever breaks that agreement,
why would they hold you to account?
We will hold you account, just like we hold you accountable for 2020.
That is political party agreement.
But in Koroko, a way forward mini, putting a constitution.
No, I am just trying to bring these things in.
Atulu, Allah President, you know President Barrow. Let me tell you something.
I'm a president.
You see, President Barrow, when he campaigned in 2026, the campaign promises, this is my biggest problem, and that's why I have issues, you know, and I say it. The biggest agenda President Barrow promised was reforms. Civil service reforms, constitutional reform, accountabilities and all this stuff. Now, President Barrow now watu watakafoloko atela legacy bekela muneti atela be Gambia la constitution on atela, and I don't see a way forward to this.
Yeah, because we are not giving each other a chance.
Because atol man felef ka fembula. Because now of a fembula in the first place, you would have consulted before gazetting a constitution and edit it by yourself.
Before in the court in 2020, President Barrow was alone. Among parties, his political party was not in the field. But even for President Barrow, NPP was there was no NPP. There was UDP, there was APRC, NRP, and GDC. I don't know. And
there was independent Barrow.
There was
independent members.
Political parties now.
And allied members.
So political party. Let's go back. I'm going to compromise.
So now that a committee stage, now the meeting I'll agree and Atule because I'll remember I'll agree that agree another document. So when it comes to voting, after that, now that voting still you general voting, you still need 2/3 for that to pass.
Yeah, you still need 2/3.
Okay.
General voting 3/4.
3/4.
At both
okay.
The second reading and third reading.
Third reading.
3/4. Okay.
I'm not only a pass now after until a banku dingol. Bafla Baro draft. Why would we draft? But when Dr. Jallo was thinking about himself, Barrow was thinking about himself, that's what we saw. We did not see any, I don't see anything. Dr. was thinking about, you know, when people asked him about the leadership, you know, like seriously?
We will negotiate with you and you know, we will have a constitution in place.
Okay.
In Parliament came on, I think we will move.
You will move?
Yes.
Okay.
What will it be?
The 2020?
The 2020 and before introducing.
Anything less?
Before introducing. Don't wait until when it's introduced, you want to negotiate.
So anything...
It will be late. No, it will be late.
That is a political position.
It will be late. Let's. This is about Gambia.
Yeah.
Let's have that Gambian approach. But I was disappointed. Bring Dr. Ceesay drone, start casting blame.
That was. I want to read. Let me look at if I can even read Dr. Latif. So Dr. Latif means the Cabrado opposition compared to Dr. Ko, the final product of the draft constitution.
If you were information minister, you will talk on behalf of the government.
What? No. If I'm supposed to talk on behalf of the government, that will be in a language Mialonko can be helpful to the government. But Alonko does not help as far as the constitution is concerned.
I'm just reading Dr. Latif, so I just don't even want to read it.
He's your friend.
No, he's my friend. He's my brother.
Let's see.
He's my brother.
Memo stumbling block, let's try to address that. As a government, listen, have that listening ear. Try to map up the way out.
Yeah.
The problem will be solved.
Are you ready to compromise?
We are.
Especially retroactive. I know retroactive. I know Donati. Among the
the whole problem is centered around nobody is a sitting president.
No, but I would do that. But I legacy, I got 50 years I
is a sitting president. It will man see follow. It will talk change no because it will talk.
But I don't change no.
No talk sitting president.
But I send it and make it.
Yeah, follow one at the time of it. No more.
More singing than kill a coy for you.
And Nadia.
I come here for sitting president.
Discretion nothing. Go for it.
You're buying your own like. The guy will pressure like a guy command to win like that.
Mafa baro jide
mbiri ta ko fo
aben bulle bare mafa
duma kilin fo ba
ni de malo
mbiro dawo
anin to le nana mafa baro ko baro ji
na hanga baro bondi ali ni ma hani baro al fo baro bondi
fa ma hani
mo be yala bi team nati atole e ala le bondi
e fa ma hani
ma hatuna ke ma hani baro
wala nbe
ndo la ta ko ma hani
ko ne nyaaro fa ala me gra okay
sa ta falen
ñun de baro falen na ñun baro la last card arrested
hana ya fa sa bute
bravo de baro falen
andi falen do promo
because I told last card that's the only winning candidate
last card
but you one winning candidate so
we have potential candidates in the party ipejete ban isi ada fam ato kameli
juma sirri ngay fo anin juma
ndo moto fale kameli wala ñi ko we have potential candidates and they can replace President Barrow. But as of now, President Barrow, I'm thinking President Barrow G.
I work 2 times.
No, I think, but
never send me
discretion. Not discretion. Not after G came out. I don't have any problem.
President Barrow, you don't have any
problem. The constitution. Ni ayo ko man kuke
aniko
basira kamda ko dal
problem atata nata nin
yele ku rezo atata
fo kilindoro
atata nata
baro constitution jamma so
nani na baro lo
ha ulo mala
atata nata
so na constitution tanga da ele so ni
so sai baro daha ibe alfano son ko ronko man hani barol
man hani ko
awale iman so
man sa so no son da kalman hani barol
iman hani
ko ronko zo kun sirawo
ko ay men soro kajantal
hani de abo alman hanya la pra lo tu al ni ofo ya no medical so
ko sontal man ko sontal ko ya tere ko man hani barol
man
hani
faru
ka ko no tu barol to tata no tu tata
baro men fo akate 2 times
ayo
Alwato can and I believe that.
I believe that all yes.
2 times.
I offer bad.
Amafa kuma fa wado men na de. Anu mola ka kam kan da ba. 2 times. I will bambande. Anu bilar wala.
Ka wala ka.
akalo ta awo ba bulle
ne baro da jiran to le ngasi dije
hani wa fato ma sin baro men fo len ko la fo
am ga ko mongo
barinko ko kunu ni fenko me akamin fo santo alon ko abodo kunu ba fo Ismaila Ceesay lota janne few months back ako barola 20 ako ni 2021 lon barola first time Ismaila wolf
ako wala mala
ako lon barola first time ako do mo transition
ma moy ku kede
ako do mo transition
man tala baro bulle
2026 to babul
first time manke folo
sai
first time
manke folo
first time mindo
Ismaila ko
so ni mo le fini
baro constitution
first time
ha kuma folo
ko luwa ko yin tuta ndam mala kede boji so yin
so ni be tan ga ni tan kan o ma ka amo kuma folo
amon fenche folo
amana kada ha bari bebenna
amon fenche folo
wala be la rinje wala be la rinje fana ando mo franda dina la ko ate lo no ko lo foy ay lo mo da
bari yalla man taw ka ta folo bari wala fu
bari ni ala te
bari wala franda ala lo
ko man ka ta
ala te ma baro ni tan yeso o badje
bari ay mo ne ga mer na manya lo aman ku ko
ay 2 times lekede
o man ga kuti ko lo foy
ako ala ta 2 times
ka fuko yena tu nyen tutam ko yenda jere ngoy baro la discretion nim baro ko
baraka la ta wala
non sonda ko tutam kila sa gambe ko al yam fu njitale ngam nsonta I have no problem with that baro ko baro politique parti le ko baro ko fanta mo wala ka to mo andum parti ni wala bura ke la candidate ada kala candidate le ngol lu ma bali
bara ala ta lata menna anun dunya ka den kilo men 2 times baro ka lata wala
ay wala fo de bari butu
ikana sanyi mu miro dunda kuma ko
ba honorable kuma fo ja wo ko itala ko
masana wartal
ako bari tam fo man si fo
man ke fo
bari ngo mel wala fo kan constitution ngam ngoro ngam ren ka fo ko constitution pass pour nga tout temps limit sa ko
baro dato ate tout temps so
ni ko ye constitution pass ite ko e manson pour tam me yalon ko iko la tam men tambite ko be continuer ate man sol ko retroactive clause wala foko ni atol ko nim baro sita ata men tambe do be continue one ala nyim do men ko be kala second time na wala fo ndol fana balante wala ko hani ko luwa mo ko taw nyamo ko luwa ya pass da dati wolto
aka commence wolto
ay commence je
ko ya luwa ka start but this is a moral issue luwa ka start wolto to truth is luwa near pass wato mina ka start wolto but this is a moral issue on
mbari kolla
sanjitan
mbari kolla Fatou na kacha dulato diptol la kacha ndin ibn chambers ndo fragile isi sonno ka foko kana asi kumasi no this time la
okay
o fotal bawo do ko mu transition net ba nyi ndo make transition isi sonno
malo
na diptel kachatu je am option net is an option
ko nyin tamni 2022 date
I want this second term is part of the options nkon si sonno
jumala sonno ndol mon sonko
ma fo kon agree on is part of the option ko si sonno le
optional ko
barato mon sonno
ma agree
la possible fonko optional le fenka men si keno o do sila no bondi jem ko nyin do si sonno wala mbela moti
ko ngal post wono bon
wala sai ni la futa compromise la
at least
e ka jifan take men fo ni lam
e fana nyanta o jifla at least
at least Allah
ko baro 15 years at least 2021
counting start no wala the first term be included woman keno sai nyindo kon si sonno
so you guys were able to compromise to say at least I start 2021 option
so say nana draft jay funtina may you brush aside
but ngo discretion is will be sign president baro discretion ka foko
this is not about president
but this is not about the president this is a national
document talking about building the constitution that's not subject to discussion of the president
it's still retroactive
but this is the national document there should be a consensus building
it's still retroactive
and still may God forbid let me put it that way ibe 3 times be nyinika habebe ole mo abeti ni wato the system is included e balantala sila ning atra commencé da sante
at least be 3 times ni sotoro so odato la famille na sotoro
president baro wina 2026 because it will be lifta wala ko tol ci ko be winna alfa ñu ci ko ko
an to yalla tol man la fi men
ko 2000
but say at least ato ay 3 times sotoro
you compromise
Africa problem men beje president ke fam perpetuate to power
yeah
ni barola manifesto jibe 2016 minka emphasize je bake wala mo ke fam perpetuate to power kawo bondi
yeah
abikat anu abikat diam ke o kuma ko man dunje so ate he is different from others
akaranta jamela
ani be man kilinga manyen mi manyen ka associate wala ka ko sunu ma fota ñine mu ala miroti ñine mu ala low count amanke moti mil lafita fantun kanna ni man sayato
amala fo
ha way mo mala miroti fani bo fande ka an wala mu ala miroti anata wala an wala mu ala miroti sa ni na de sanyi fula sura ita fa alhamdulillah
ya masaya dia kan
iro fa
masaya dia
na ka membre
so ko da fo nyamna ko birol babule ita ban
ay be bulle
ni yo sanyi mo sanyi tan
ko woto da parti le bulu parti la mo tombo yelo di ko
ba
ko ta be nyamna dum panda wala nyam
ba say mo tombo ba ni nga sanyi tan so da na ka wala ko ate mal la fi mela
self perpetuation okay comme mo fo kala yalo even in other countries Mara Rwanda science and même le Syrie you know what for time
we should not compare ourselves to that
but it's self perpetuation but he is doing it for the right like
right what just because of the doesn't mean he should participate himself the thing is no but the thing is no he's not
look at the languages
no you can make power no but ngam ya nte personally ndam sembo so pour que president sindi ndam ya mo sembo so
you are number what in the National Assembly
no but ngam fo
yes number 2
no but ngam home parliament do ko when it comes to political parties I am part of the party but ndam mam condition taji parti la condition ta on those issues joie de la presidential candidate congress lam kala congress le president baro sonda pour que lo kara president NPP la congress ya tombo ya endorse as long as loi ma bal loi ya balde ate lola ma fala boji loi la ya balde o loi ana o respect
aber so o loi na no so no na tele
afi compromise nga fala
ate le man son folo
ani fa compromise
mon
na nga ngo loi na même be ka fa 2024 revised document la jinto
na na ti ngaju
only thing me la wala gana fa wala mo retroactive clause ni
ya bay wo dalilo
wala mal
ya imagine be waja ay tili
zero ha ba aso dama so wala ani so ma drum ba fa la jël
constitution na tambe debate la ko nga samba ay pass second reading
Emanso.
Ika fonto emanso.
Alaka 2020.
Ay na ba ko emanso. But me am the terror sign kono. No, let's
talk about 2024. Me 2024.
That's what I'm saying. 2024 me nyanda kelanga wala foye.
Oh bonije. 2024 let's talk 2024.
Al kana Tommy bondije.
Tombo ko taje.
After 2 years.
Ya be bondije.
Ay akana fi bondije fanan. Dala fanan.
Jawa ba ma ta. Aka fu mata. Jawa ba ma ta programme dia ta jam fata bari inte ban consensus so no jante mala basti no député bu moto ka tu inte mas to no jante
I think we are ready for compromise.
You are ready for compromise?
Yes.
On ko into mo re to mantale.
So you see?
Alento ko to na menfo. Eta katabun. E mur katabun.
E mur katabun.
E mam menke. Na okay. This move is a non-starter.
Wow. This is a non-starter.
Ye muru inim political party ye kacha. Wol lafta menna na okay ay ke mol la constitutionality mol kanaje ko baro la constitutional an nu ñin do kita wala ñama ala ñu mul ñu wata bak ye mol bla do ko wala iko wala do ko ifata wala le sayta la do ko ibo wala dila mol
ay wala do ko mo fele
this from sen yo fay itala do ko yo di molla
ani ba nga fay dalilo kan ma fay kesse
ani ba yaay tamé da
ko ya fay dalilo
active
dalilo jere
da ba silan ko le tandi na te dalilo fo mo mo fana bi le dalilo fo ba den kam min foto morali ni molla do ko yo fay ite ko ta wala mo nyanta wala nyandila
o ko yalla
be ko yalla le ate fo man nyenna da dun nanyin kono
bara da won rege ko just
hani bravo de la executive de
iko ya ke cabinet no iko ya meeting o ke cabinet le ya discuss ya present ya ko jube close by close ni eto nyafa ito ya ni min beteata
is accommoda consideration stage even in parliament
for the parliament
minister of justice ya
for the parliament banko
ya so sabari ye kenye na parliament
that is not their duty
no they have the right
they have national document leti
no executive
but national document long
no but they can do that
there was a compensation for this
bill ka emanate from executive
of course yes
the constitution is a bill
yes
akaboy level
yeah
and then sapelo ka jele because ananga draft it also diet lefana ka kulo okay nyindo nya
yalo human nature
parliament
yalo human nature nya nyaje consultation okay nyaje CRC select baro sa dida no fayela num ko in 2020 ko di asa kenol but nyaje CRC tanu ko di human nature hada madingo sondo mo kiliata sondo mo ka hani man family mira for example b ninte sama meeting auto where you say Kerr Fatou GRTS Fatou network la interest jube right Ninde decision otala de after decision otala 90% chances will be most of it will be favorable to Kerr Fatou because it's close to my heart, it's my baby. So human nature and people will blame me from the other because obviously they will see I did not do some of those in good faith. I was not looking at the bigger picture. I was looking at my interests. So human nature naturally. That was the reason why for it to reflect the entire Gambian people. Let's give it to people, they can be independent. They can consult the different stakeholders. You may be the ideal not. In the 2020, there were things that I didn't agree with. In fact, it was after I spoke to a certain lawyer, there were things that he explained, I was like, whoa, I have issues with that, right? So, no different issues to do. Nothing, there's no document that can be perfect for all of us. But I think the reason why it was given to an independent body is to that doubt. Fatou ba fongol protect. Come to the info, Baron Alamole fongol protect. Yalo nata CRC like that doubt number one. Han natra itole protect. Wo bota jele. So natra in 20 yadi independent lawyers ola. Gambe no liko okay atol molu wolor. Atol ya edit anali afenke. Ya fongole ko ngadi mole la minbari edika. That doubt would not have been there. So I think for me that is the first position they add in. They should not have made it their document. This is our document, all of us. And I think, that was manifested. The draft was to protect them. Anyway, for me, I believe that.
Me, I think it's still the document.
Final message.
Now the parliament, and it becomes the document of the people. Because people's representatives are in parliament now. The bill is coming from the executive. Now, it's our responsibility.
Can we call it the borrowed draft?
No, you call it 2024 draft.
No, the borrowed draft.
Revised draft.
Borrowed draft.
It's not for President Barrow. I'm not sure it's for President Barrow. But now the parliament, as representatives, of course, okay, we look forward to what you will edit. We'll see what anyway, ni on the pride I table I can be secondary in the Kaimu.
Habaranga memfo, I follow. I'm helping him.
No,
I want the condition.
You're helping me.
I'm helping him.
You're helping me. I know it very well. I know it.
So I consultation okay. More consultation manke. Minister ka ketale. But minister la position in landi. I more la tata. More ko mem manke I okay. So that there can be way for the constitution.
But make sure you tell them, process the balance thing as a political party. All the other issues, let's just look at the retroactive clause. You compromise with the
other ones are the prayer call for
you all forward. One monkey major issues.
No, what made you think about it? No, listen. The retroactive for monkey a big problem.
That was done.
Those things.
Oh, retroactive. Monkey.
No, come like the problem was retroactive. Well, main issue to know. You're just making it more difficult.
I can tell you.
Nomination of
the whole chapter.
Can the whole chapter about
No, when you listen Boston.
Yeah,
withdraw. That is interference. Because he left the home and another assembly to fire.
Court ruling court.
It left court ruling, but you are not into it. You are getting in draft.
But in Benin, it below me, there was no Fringo. What
are you coming for?
No, I'm in draft.
And I find a balance.
I'm joking about that, but seriously.
Yeah. Yes, we can progress.
No, see, there should be some compromise.
Where we can progress.
There should be compromise.
Where we can progress.
You cannot defend all of this. You have to compromise. You have to compromise. The people of all Union are not in line with this draft. Go and consult with your people.
I will do the consultation.
Go and consult.
I will do that.
I want to be there when you do those consultations. We want to film it. I'm from West Coast, so we want to film it and see what your people say. We want to do that. But what I have to bring you guys back because this one.
But anyway, I mean, like, it's a very important program.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, with all the busy schedules, it'll be busy, but
definitely. And you are in a very important issue.
Yeah. And then, we might not know all.
Yeah.
It's just conversational and wrong.
Yeah.
People listening might, be in a better position to understand even the draft more than us.
Yeah.
But these are things me and then more analyze it from way.
Yeah.
They can take a position. But we thank Kerr Fatou for inviting us in this program. Thank you so very much.
Thank you. Honorable program.
Comme afunya mena do kontanta bake kanaja na mera nyine mo foloti ntenga media appearance as far as the
consult draft
the
baro draft
draft
that's no why you draw
no
what you draw
no I think mama for
no
media already
yeah just for a baro draft why mari ko baro papers I think for draft
media tola ya kuli
okay afarko afari 2024 draft
wokumatale anga men fojang abe kumalal moriye mira bake sakora ngam men fojang pour nga mira to nyambe makan janne bad daga wala mu miron tenga mira men nyanta kela ni mol ko kacha manke aman tarde
we can still go back
lafta men nga woke lafta men na wala constitution so nim men lafta wakalela awu jaratan le nga woke yo kare be minister dan la wala be president fanan dan la wala na information minister du kare nim men keta akal wo fo ko dol be je bi ka politiko dunu wokono abi ka ko de da ka tinyaro constitution wo na kul politiko bondi wokono nkana nyo jibe na politika nyala safirla e memfo ni lafta constitution e tanyum bankun kan kafu fulete wol bondi laje ala la kite wollel sambo wata oto wol kana nyo jibe politika nyala soka kuma fo nyoma politiko la karola ate makoy nola to karaw munna yamaroti be tentla be jayla baraka
Barka Baki, Honorable Lala, Barka Baki. Honorable Ceesay, you were in a very important, issue, me and constituent, but you had to rush on a program later. But we thank you, and Honorable Fernando Ecowas, but thank you so much. We hope there's a compromise, because this is what we want. 2020 draft, Afrobarometer, people want the draft. They want 75% of Gambians want the draft by President Kotake. What you mean, Bingo said, Material, are you going to do another survey? More in 2024 draft. But the general consensus is Gambian will after draft constitution Kutola, because the reason why change because we were tired of what was here and we wanted a progressive constitution. People should put political lenses aside and have a compromise. And I think it should start with the executive, because he told Lebening draft presenter. He told him Alfalti, president is the president of the republic. I think he should open up the dialogue. Nae Darboe Kumanda, Halifa Kumanda, my fati, pati de also ani damal. Ye dasorong, ye dama, ye kachake. Anything they come out of it. I know these other political players, Deputy Besonala, but they have to. They cannot sit there. It's Mera Sisibe Kumol Failan and Jang, Dr. Jalla Befeng will defend, and the opposition will find the Kumol Fail, like, no, I'm not getting. that only shows us we are not going to have a draft if that continues. Until that stops, we are not going to have a draft. And whoever can stop that is the executive, because it only belongs. It only after I passed that they should start the consultation. And I think that is something Honorable Anyan Tamin Sambala, you talk to the president, you are number 2 in the National Assembly, number 3, in the majority side, go talk to your team and, we want a draft constitution. We want term limits. We want a term limit. But I don't mind. Baro can run. Now after you imang hani baro. But I will beat him or not. Nale mata si. No, it's not beat him nati la. I agree. Maybe beat him nati nang. Instead of AA, I will beat nati dro. Imam fisa. Hani baro imang hani wo umtonya. Until we come here next week. Good night to you. I'll see you again. Bye bye. Thank you very much.
We are happy to announce the launch of our new logo. We have evolved since our incorporation in 1997, and it is time to refresh our new look to reflect who we are today. Before I reveal our new look, however, walk with me while I take you through our journey of the last 25 years. Trust Bank was incorporated on July 3rd, 1997 and began operations on October 1st, 1997. Following the collapse of the parent company of its predecessor, Meridian, the CBG stepped in and recapitalized the bank and held the shares in trust, thus the name Trust Bank. In 1999, the first investors who responded to the IPO and paid $1.50 per share received their maiden dividend of 50 bututs per share. In 2000, the bank fully paid back its investment by declaring another dividend of $1.20 bututs per share, making it a cumulative dividend per share of $1.70, which was 20 bututs above the purchase price. Between 2002 to date, share capital has increased from $27 million to $200 million, indicating that the bank has grown organically by plowing back profits to increase capital, while at the same time paying dividends to shareholders. The bank was listed on the Ghana Stock Exchange in November 2002, being the first ever cross-border listing in the sub-region. Now let's talk about awards. The bank was awarded the insignia of the National Order of the Republic of the Gambia, ORG, in the year 2010 by His Excellency the President of the Republic of the Gambia. During the past years, the bank has received so many national and international awards. Banker Magazine, 6 times. Global Finance, 6 times. Gambia Chamber of Commerce and Industry, 5 times. We began operations with 3 branches. Now, we have 18 branches and 20 ATMs and counting. On digital services, mobile app, check. Online banking, check. Transaction alerts, check. Watch this space. We've got more coming. Creating employment, yes, we've got that too. 400 and counting. And we take great care of our people too. Medical insurance, life insurance, private and state pensions, annual pilgrimages for both Muslims and Christians, training, yes, we do them all. One team, one family, one goal. That's the Trust Bank spirit. On corporate social responsibility, we have spent over $50 million in various causes. We care, and so we share. Over the years, we have paid over $1.6 billion to our shareholders, which translates to a whopping $20 per share and counting. Phenomenal returns for our shareholders who purchased at $1.50. Corporate taxes, over $1 billion is paid. Our journey started with a vision to create the kind of company that delivers quality services and innovative products with an inspired team dedicated to serving our customers, our environment, and our communities at large in the most caring manner. We remain fully committed to delivering excellent services to each of our stakeholders, customers, employees, shareholders, and partners. So, we remain true to who we have always been. As we look forward to greater achievements, we are rebranding to reflect who we are today and the future that we inspire. Our new logo has been designed to visually demonstrate our Gambian heritage and the sophisticated nature of the bank. We are moving away from the navy and gold-colored parallelogram-shaped logo to our baobab tree with a rising sun in the background. The striking outline of a baobab tree at sunrise is a familiar sight to anyone who has spent time in the Gambia. Our new logo and visual identity are inspired by our core values and spirit of being a pioneer in providing a unique banking experience. It is a completely new look that better matches the transformation we have made as a company. But we remain your trust bank. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my singular honor to present to you our new logo and corporate identity.